Hello there YouTube, this is Eric McRae, Asparagus Party, coming in with another video from Eric's Anime and Gaming Commentary channel. I just want to thank you for your time and really quickly announce that I'm launching sort of an official YouTube strategy that I've decided to really bind myself to. And in the interest of accountability and openness, I want to share it and sort of let people know what I'm going to be doing. But along with everything in life, there is kind of a backstory and a backdrop, and it is important to cover that. So for those of you who frequent my channel, who I often see in comments, have kind of been my supporters in a very real way, who I'm super grateful for, people like IVX, Kazu, and one or two others. You'll notice from my channel there's this general trend of accountability, transparency, and openness. I try to tell you everything I'm going through, what my goals are, and be very open about it. This is my personal policy. This is the way I like to do things. You'll recall these 4 videos, for example, my goals for this YouTube channel: YouTube racism and favoritism, a commentary response to what happened to Corey X Kenshin, the challenges in operating this YouTube channel, what I want for Eric's Anime and Gaming Commentary channel. There's no way around it. It's all over the place. Well, this is very much one of those things. And I'm pretty happy about coming together with a strategy, but I want to give you the story of what happened to me these past 2 days. So, let me open with this confession. I'm actually disappointed in myself, in this side of myself that came out that I really thought I was better than this, what started manifesting, which is normally I try not to look too much at view counts because I think they have such an intoxicating way of corrupting your judgment and making you see only a portion of the picture of what's happening with your channel rather than the full story. And despite, in a very real way, kind of knowing better or being in a place where I should know better, I found myself strongly affected by these past 2 days, which just really goes to speak to the pull of what happens when you have all the analytics in front of you and all the numbers and number crunching, how it becomes so easy to make every decision in line with those numbers and the ideals and dreams and best wishes of those numbers only, and start to lose clarity. It started happening to me. I started looking through my videos and looking at the view counts and considering whether I needed to implement a strategy based on getting more viewers. Now, I want to be open with you guys. I would love to be a content creator as a career. I would love to make money out of this. I would love to do this full time. I like being able to have the kind of discussions and cover the topics I cover and do the things I do. I like playing games and entertaining people with making fun of myself. I also like giving complex commentary on the moral philosophies of anime. I love all these kind of things. I like giving commentary on politics and the moral reasonings and questions behind something like development of modern AI. And if I could monetize that and make my life out of it, I would without a hesitation. I would easily give up painting and whatever other things I have to do to keep a roof over my head if that could sustain me. And when you have that mindset, it becomes very easy again to be controlled by looking at these views. But it started raising some flags for me. So YouTube right now very much has what we call the YouTube meta. It's what's kind of trending in the way of what YouTube's creators and designers and control teams have implemented as a system, as an algorithm for you to kind of follow, or that you're expected to follow, that this is the path to get those views and those popularity. The idea that you'll attain your dreams of whatever you want to accomplish on YouTube by conforming to this. And the current meta is 60-second shorts. And since I was kind of under the sway for a few moments of views, you'll notice I started experimenting. I started producing a lot of shorts really quickly. And the more I did this, the more I realized this is not the path I want to go, at least in the very least not for YouTube. And I have a lot of thoughts on that and a lot of conversation related to that. And I guess before I get into my official strategy, let me get into the topic of shorts and why they're so concerning to me. So obviously, this really began with TikTok. We don't need to have the elephant in the room. We can all admit it. TikTok entered the realm of the internet and exploded. And it was all 60-second swipe videos. And the kind of atmosphere this creates, in general, I'll be honest, I don't like it. It's very much akin to, and this is not to judge any of you who might be doing this. If any of you are frequenting TikTok, I don't want you to think I look any less of you, but this is just kind of a visual picture that it brings to me in personal feelings. It's like those 90s couch potato guys sitting and drooling on the couch with the TV with the remote, just quickly flicking through anything, looking for anything to devour into their mind and to distract them from life, kind of thing. I kind of look at TikTok like that, and I know this is not a 100% picture of it. Actually, I think you could use this platform very effectively as an advertising platform, but I would not make the bulk of my content 60-second shorts ever. I never think that would be a good way for someone to conduct themselves as a human, and try to make that all that they had in terms of video content, though some certainly do. It brings up this kind of picture of people with a very short attention span, that don't even have the slightest idea of what they're looking for in life, kind of flicking through this massive list of videos, hoping to miraculously pass by the one video that's going to bring all the things that are going to stupendously make their life better. While I do like the idea of using something like TikTok as an advertisement platform or promotion media, I think the idea of making 60-second shorts a sort of one-size-fits-all standard for how to define video production success is inherently a stupid and foolish idea. And now this really brings us into the topic of YouTube Shorts. So remember, TikTok comes out, it releases this system of shorts. YouTube as a competitor wants in on that market. That's what YouTube Shorts are about. That's what they revolve around. The whole idea of YouTube Shorts is a system for YouTube to cut into a market. It's all decision making made in the interest of money, not necessarily passion to provide a good atmosphere or good content for the creators on it or for the creative faculties of human beings in general. And I think that's why I have a problem with it, because think about the concept of specialization. Okay, so TikTok came out with this shorts system. They really defined the perfecting of it as a video media system. And now YouTube comes some number of years after TikTok, or at least some number of months, and just really wants to do it because TikTok succeeded in it. In terms of the general directive staff of YouTube kind of steering the direction for YouTube, this was a decision made in the interest of mimicking the success of another. It was not an independent, well thought out, well debated decision made in the interest of, is this something that's needed for YouTube? That kind of questioning does not seem to have happened. Now, I don't know about you, but I've had a lot of experience with really hyper-analyzing and observing decisions made by major companies, major bodies, when it comes to the principle of competition, even in the free trade market, which I'm very pro-free trade, by the way. But how it works out when specialization is considered. For example, how could I break this down? Consider anime, for example. Japanese animation became very popular, and you had a lot of Western culture look to anime's popularity within the West, and what they looked to and coveted was the monetary success attached to it, the ability to profit dollar value. What they did not look was to hyper-analyze the anime and say, are there moral themes here that are eternally true and relevant, that are giving an appeal to the anime? Are there exploitable themes? Is it really just the art style? There was not a big consideration outside of just really dumb money. And so what you got was a lot of pseudo-anime being produced. And now some of this was genuinely good despite all the odds. according to some. At least I've heard a lot of praise of like Avatar: The Last Airbender, though I've never really watched it, but I certainly know of it. But I'm sure we can all agree that the majority of this was not good. It's really these botched Western animes, for example. Like, if you just take Batman and Superman and redo it in the anime art style, while I don't necessarily like some of the previous Western cartoon styles that were kind of goofy, I don't necessarily think anime is inherently 100% superior. For example, we have comics, especially like Spawn and a few others, where the comic style is done to look as realistic to actual human and real world proportions as possible. I think it would have been good for the Western media who were, Western animators who were using that style and succeeding with that style to stick to what they had already perfected and know. And yet many of them just started grabbing onto a Japanese anime mimicry style, and what we found is, for one, many of us didn't like it. It just felt cheesy and fake and kind of not real. But two, like, even a lot of the people who came from that kind of culture weren't necessarily appealed to by it either. It didn't even win over like a lot of Japanese people. You talk with those people and you find out many of them preferred us to maintain our distinct style. There were plenty of Japanese Batman and Superman fans before people started trying to make Batman and Superman look like an anime, for example. It's not necessary to take the step to run into a realm of specialization that you have a very poor skill set to suit. And I think that is the danger with the YouTube Shorts. And that's very profound because it's a twofold danger. So on one hand, you have the leadership of YouTube. You have those who are really running the platform in the media jumping onto this bandwagon and grabbing the idea that they weren't good enough with what they had and trying to be something they're not. And now as they embrace this idea and sort of let it enter into their mind, penetrate and take over their thoughts, the problem becomes twofold because they try to manage it, market the same idea to those who are relying and depending on the platform, and to convert the sort of lay people of YouTube, or maybe lay people is an inappropriate term. I didn't mean it in an insulting way, but the content creators. They try to convert the content creators to adopt the exact same concept, and because they can't, because there's no demand for it, now they invent all these algorithms to try to enforce something that's completely artificial and completely unnecessary. And what you have in the meantime is, ironically, TikTok gradually realizing that it's okay to have videos longer than 60 seconds. So they release whatever, a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Now videos on TikTok can go up to 3 minutes. Now in TikTok's case, maybe it's still fine because I find even 3 minutes is pretty short personally, but maybe not everyone's going to agree with me on that. However, in the case of YouTube, I think it's been more disproportionate in terms of, if we were to take what TikTok's doing by allowing for longer videos over time, up to 3 minutes, to be a compromise, we'd say YouTube compromised with the concept of the short more than TikTok compromised with the concept of the longer video. So it's kind of very grossly disproportionate, and I think it'll be clearly reflected in the numbers of viewers. And now if you have an element of doubt, that's perfect, because that becomes an exact and precise way to test it. So what you do is this. You look at the YouTube Shorts and you check out the tags, like the hashtag marks gaming, hashtag gaming, hashtag funny or whatever, and now compare it and contrast it with the TikTok hashtags. And are we seeing the same viewership? Do you get billions of people on the hashtags for the YouTube Shorts, or billions of people on the hashtags for the TikTok Shorts? And I think that becomes self-evidence where the demand for a short platform is focused. It's focused on TikTok. To be fair, you could argue somewhat that there might be a greater visibility probability for your video on YouTube, but I don't actually think that's the case, because you're considering that, again, YouTube's implemented so many algorithms that are favoring the previously established channels over you, and now you bring in a concept like a short. It's a 60-second video So you have a content creator who's already monetized his content creation. He has more resources and time to shoot out these 60-second videos in such greater numbers than you. And if you have a good number of these, your odds of getting through them aren't that much better on YouTube than it would be on TikTok. Even if TikTok had the same concept, there's no reason to assume that you're somehow going to spontaneously make it big with shorts on YouTube. And regardless, that's only a strategy that would make sense for somebody who is specialized in shorts. Someone who only wanted to make 60-second videos, they'd make 60-second videos on TikTok, and then they'd make 60-second videos on YouTube and profit overall, because that's the one thing they do, so of course they get pretty good at it. But if you're somebody who's not looking to make 60-second videos, you don't really have a lot of business trying to stick your nose into it unless you intend to take it to that level. So now, with all that said, you'll actually be able to see the visible effects of this on my channel directly. If you look at my video list, you will notice that I've actually just deleted all my videos that are sort of 60 seconds or less. I've just decided that I'm not going to tolerate that meta on my channel. This clearing out of my channel I actually implemented, even though in terms of views it wasn't always favorable to me. For example, I had at least one short with about 152 views, and were comparatively what I'd consider some of my premium in terms of my most educationally valuable One Piece anime commentary content has maybe like 3 views or something like that. And the fact of the matter is, I don't care. I'm just not looking at the views anymore. I'm not going to play that game. So hopefully that explains it. And if you want any more answers or explanation of how I can justify such things, you'll hear that in the coming videos. This is just part 1 of a series. So part 2, part 3, or however many parts is necessary will outline my overall strategy and clarify my thoughts and my reasoning for anyone who wants to know. So God bless you guys. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me, and I will see you in the next video.